We've all heard that phrase, right? Cooking the books. We see the headlines, we hear about the fines, but what if the real punishment, the truly massive financial blow, is something we almost never talk about? Well, today we're going to dive into a landmark study that reveals the staggering hidden costs of corporate fraud.
So when these giant multi-billion-dollar companies get caught fudging their numbers, the penalties often feel kind of like a slap on the wrist. It's this common perception that, the punishment just doesn't really fit the crime.
And look, this isn't just a gut feeling people have, it's a whole narrative that's been pushed by major media. Forbes magazine famously ran a headline asking, "Where are the indictments?" This idea even made it all the way to Washington, with policymakers talking about a climate of lax regulation to justify new laws.
And this idea, this conventional wisdom that the penalties are basically nothing, it's been so powerful that it's actually shaped major public policy, like the Sarbanes-Oxley Act. That law was specifically designed to make those penalties tougher. It's the story we've all been told again and again.
But here's the big question. Is that story even true? What does the data actually say? Well, a team of researchers decided they were going to dig in and find the real answer.
So, they launched this absolutely massive investigation, spanning 25 years, to measure the true total cost of getting caught. I mean, the scale of this study is just wow. We're talking about researchers digging into every single one of the 585 firms that the SEC targeted for financial funny business over a 25-year period. And their goal was to measure everything, not just the official fines, but all the penalties, including the ones the market hands out.
And what they discovered? Well, let's just say it completely flips that conventional wisdom on its head.
Turns out, on average, when the news broke that a company had been cooking its books, its stock got hammered, losing a shocking 38% of its value. I mean, think about that. 38%, that's not a fine, that's a catastrophe.
So that begs the question, right? If the legal penalties are supposedly so small, where did all that money, all those billions of dollars in market value, just vanish?
Okay, so the answer is right here in this breakdown. Look at this. The legal stuff, the fines and settlements, that's barely 9% of the total hit. About a quarter of the loss is what they call the readjustment effect. That's just the market correcting for the fake value the company lied about. But look at that huge piece of the pie. 2/3 of the damage came from something else entirely, a loss of reputation.
So what in the world is reputation loss? Well, think of it this way. It's the real hard cash you lose when people stop trusting you. It's customers walking away, suppliers suddenly demanding tougher payment terms, and investors deciding they wouldn't touch your stock with a 10-foot pole. It is the literal price of being untrustworthy.
And that is the key takeaway here. The real penalty, the big one, it doesn't come from a judge. It comes from the market itself.
Let's put some hard numbers on this, okay? The average legal penalty that these firms had to pay was $23.5 million. Now, for a huge corporation, you can kind of see how that might feel like, we can handle that. It feeds right into that slap on the wrist myth.
But then you look at the reputation loss, and it is more than 7.5 times bigger than all the legal penalties combined. This is the hidden punishment. It's not a check you write to the government. It's handed down by millions of customers, partners, and investors who all decide at once, nope, we can't trust you anymore.
You see, the crucial thing to get is this. The market has a really, really long memory. A legal fine is a one-time thing. You pay it, it's over. But a shattered reputation, that bleeds value year after year. It is the penalty that just keeps on penalizing.
So this all boils down to a really simple and frankly brutal calculation that shows why cheating is just terrible business.
The researchers broke it all down, dollar for dollar. Let's say a company cooks the books to illegally inflate its value by just $1. What happens when they get caught? Well, first, they immediately lose that fake dollar when the truth comes out. Then they pay another 36 cents in legal penalties. But here's the absolute killer. On top of all that, they lose another $2.71 in pure reputational damage. You add all that up, and the math is just undeniable. For every single dollar you gain by cheating, you end up losing $4.08. So, far from being a simple slap on the wrist, financial fraud is a catastrophically bad business decision. So what does this all mean in the end? It leaves us with a pretty powerful thought, doesn't it? This research proves that it's the market, not the courts, that is the toughest and most severe judge of a company's integrity. It attaches a real, tangible, and enormous price tag to dishonesty. And it really makes you wonder, if that's the price of losing trust, what then is the true value of earning it and keeping it?